What's up YouTube, it's Mac1 here. Today I'm going to bring you a slightly tweaked Constellar deck profile. I'm also going to talk about the cards I don't run in Constellars and why. I'll probably do that first, and I'll leave a little annotation or something in the description, so if you just come here for a deck profile you don't have to sit through my ramblings. So this will probably end up being quite a long video. But yeah, hopefully I'll make it interesting enough for you to sit through it. Okay, starting off with the Constellars I don't run. I don't run Constellar Razzlehague, formerly Sacred Hour. What this is a level 2 spellcaster with pistol stats. You can tribute him, special summon a Constellar monster from your hand or graveyard in face-up defense position, except another copy of himself, so no loopy stuff happens. The reason I don't run him is simply because he doesn't have that much synergy with the other cards I do run. He's level 2, which means you can't just open him and say Pollux and go into an Xyz if you don't have your graveyard set up. Before the majority of the rest of the deck was released on Dueling Network many months, or probably about a year and a half ago now, when the Constellars were first out, I ran him at 1 so he can get back an Xyz and go into Ptolemy, but he's just kind of been a little phased out now. I still see some people teching him at 1, but I just think he's a bit superfluous. So that's Razzlehague. Next is Constellar Leonis. He was Pollux before Pollux was a thing, because he was released first. He does effectively the same thing, but he's level 3. And he also suffers from the Sheraton problem, in that he has weak attack, good defense, and you need to normal summon him. So, actually, reading it, this is just, as long as it's on the field, you can normal summon one Constellar monster. So, that makes him slightly more useful, but again, I don't think in this rather quick format he's going to live very long for you to get the most out of him. And he's level 3, which makes it awkward if you don't have Chaos, because Hyades is not very good. Last of level 3s is Constellar Aldebaran. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one Constellar, level 3 Constellar from your hand. It's Beast Warrior, so you can search him by Tenki. He has okay stats for a level 3. His attack's 13, so you might be over a gadget or something. I'm not sure. It's just the fact that, again, level 3s are not that great. You shouldn't really be focusing on rank 3ing with Constellars, in my humble opinion. I'm sure there are some people who disagree with me on that, but that's just what I've found. If Hyades was as good as, Pleiades and Price B, then maybe you could run a dedicated build, but yeah, kind of a bit lackluster. Onto the only 4 I don't run is Constellar Cubans. This card is actually quite interesting. I tested it for a little while and it was okay, but it's really quite bad if you just open it. Its effect is, when this card is normal special summoned, all Constellar monsters you currently control gain 500 attack. So if you're going for a push with like Pollux or something, or Algierde, then it might net you a couple extra 100 points, but its attack without the boost is only 800 with 2000 defense, so you can set it, but It's a card with an offensive effect but defensive stats, so it's not that good. I think the card would be better if it had the effect of when this card is attached to a Constellar Xyz as an Xyz material, that card gains 500, because most of the time you're just going to be Xyzing with the monsters, not directly attacking with them, because your opponent will likely have something else out. So yeah, that's why I don't run the Cubans. On to the 5s, which you can pretty much talk about in one breath, which I will do, so I think we have time because it's already 5 minutes. So that's Zubanesh Amali, Virgo, Antares, and Alresha. These kind of all fall into the same bracket, that they have sort of decent effects, but they're not really that usable in a regular Constellar build, and a dedicated build is slower than the regular one, so there's not much point in running it, and you lose access to rank 4s. So yeah, Zubanesh Amali, when this guy is normal or special summoned, you can add any Constellar from your deck to your hand. So a really good searcher. He's a level 5 Sheraton, effectively. It kind of annoys me about this archetype. There's a level 3 Stratos and a level 5 Stratos, but no level 4 Stratos, which would be the best one. So kind of really hope Konami make us like an exclusive or something, maybe in Judgment of the Light. That's a level 4 Stratos. Virgo, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 5 Constellar monster from your hand in face-up defense position. So obviously you're meant to use Virgo to get out Zubanesh Amali, get a search, go into Pleiades. Kind of the same combos with Antares and Alresha. Antares, instead of searching from deck, gets stuff back from the graveyard. And Alresha, when it's normal summoned, you can special summon any Constellar monster from your hand in face-up defense position. So it's not quite as restrictive as Virgo, but again, they're all just kind of awkward. They need to be in pairs to be of any use whatsoever, and there's no real way to search them and get them live, apart from maybe like Sheraton and Sombra. But yeah, they're all just kind of unnecessary. Right, for the non-Constellar cards I don't run, but I have seen people running. First off, Photon Thrasher, and in the same breath I'll talk about Ghost Ship. They both can be very good, but they both also can be dead. Like if you already have something out and you top deck Photon Thrasher, it's a dead draw, completely dead. Sure, you can search with Rotor, which gives you a bit more likelihood of getting to it first turn when you need it, but I still don't really like it. My kind of theory on Yu-Gi-Oh! In general is if it's a horrid top deck, as in an unworkable top deck, you probably shouldn't run it. And Ghost Ship is just dead if you don't have it alongside a Chaos. I know Chaos is one of my searchable cards in the deck, but again, not a massive fan. The second and possibly third Bear, I can understand running 2, I think 3 is a bit too much. I personally don't run the second Bear, because I want to run Constellar, I don't want to run Fire Fist. If I wanted to just pop stuff with Bear Tenki all day, I would just get an extra Bear in and run Fire Fist, if I'm perfectly honest. Although if you wanted to make it slightly more aggro, and don't mind cutting some of the actual Constellars, then feel free to run it. In the same vein, I've seen some people run Tensu. In my build at least, there's absolutely no point to this card because you only run 4 targets. Same deal with Tiger King. There's 4 cards in the entire deck which can make it. And if you have Bear and Couse or Couse and Couse, then you should be going into different things. It's not bad as a skill drain, it's a bit too restrictive for its materials. Safe Zone. I've seen a lot of people running it. It's great with Pleiades, but I'm not a massive fan of it. It's a little bit too situational. I have made a sort of build centered around it and Pleiades once Sombres is legal, and it's okay. It gets off some pretty hilarious plays, but a little bit too situational for the regular build in my opinion. Road. I'm not running this simply because I don't want to cut anything for a Stardust, and I don't think I'm running enough back row to make this sort of live. I'm running 11 back row. I don't think you should really run this unless you're running sort of 13 to 15 back row. So that's just my opinion. Obviously it works for some people, so go for it. I've cut the Trags out of the main deck because this deck should have a fairly good matchup against Evil Swarm, and this is sort of a main deck hindrance in that matchup. So yeah, many times they've just been smacking me in the face with Ophion and I've just had like 1 or 2 Trags in hand and they've just been completely dead. That's what I found in testing anyway. Might side deck them, but I've played some games without them and I really haven't missed them. Extra deck wise, Excalibur, only 3 targets in the entire main deck, so that's why I don't run that. Pollux isn't as searchable as readily searchable as Caster is in Evil Swarms, because they have that that continuous spell, continuous trap rather, that searches them anything they want. So yeah. Dice Sigma, not enough room. I really do like this card in Gadget, but yeah, not enough room. Emerald, same deal, not really enough room, and if you've got 2 4s out, you should probably be going into other things. It's a little too weak, if I'm honest, because you're almost always going to go minus into an Xyz, and it pays for itself after 1 activation, and only pluses you after 2 activations if it manages to survive. So yeah, kind of takes a backseat, especially to Omega once that comes out. And Adrius, I don't run him yet, but once Sombres comes out and he becomes a bit more available sort of at any stage in the game, I will be cutting something for him, because these are cards. This the viruses, access to them is important, especially Eradicator, once prophecies go full retard. So yeah, he's a good go-to target. Right, okay. Now I'll go through a deck profile. Right. Triple Chaos. You're on him because he level modulates. Up to twice a turn you can increase or decrease a Constellar monster on the field's level by 1. Triple Pollux, extra normal summon. Triple Algiri. I run triple because I personally really like her, and even if you open 2 of her, you can go into Omega very soon, and also works with Sombres, so there's a bit of extra synergy there. Double Siat, which is a level modulating Cyber Dragon. That alone should give enough incentive to run it. Becomes better once Omega comes out, just so you don't have to go into Price B. Not that I don't like Price B is a great card, but gives a bit more variation because this has to be used as Constellar Xyz material. Double Sheraton, love-hate relationship with this card. Needs to be level 4, basically. Honest, because they're all light, and Bear, because Bear is Bear. Rotor for your Pollux, and also like side decking in these, so there's a bit of main deck, side deck synergy. Triple Tinky. 1 Star Cradle. I still don't like 2, but giving 1 gives a little bit of recoverability to your hand. Also, once Sombre comes out, if you have the right setup, this and Sombre becomes Shockmaster, which is always nice. Reborn, Dark Hole, Storm, should go without saying. Triple MSD, because you need your stuff to go off. Lance, because you run Bear and you need your stuff to go off. And then 1 Night Beam. Night Beam just basically as a 4th MSD. I've really liked it. It's also really nice against Prophecy. Just to Night Beam that threatening roll if you can get past all their shenanigans. It's really, really helpful. Trapwise, 2 Bottomless, 2 Mirror, 2 Torrential, 2 Fiendish, Solemns, and Xyz Reborn. I don't think I really need to go through why with most of that stuff. Extra deck, Ptolemy. Still only running 1. I do have access to a second one now, but I just find most games only go into 1, and there's other things I need to run in this, so. Double Pleiades, 1 Price-P, 1 Hyades. Hyades is kind of a necessary evil, because you go Sheraton, I guess, and it's light monsters, not just Constellar monsters, so if you absolutely have to go into it, you can use it with Banisher. Well, I don't really see many situations why you would. Maestroke, Dweller, Shockmaster, Cowboy. Cowboy I rarely go into, so that this will probably be what I cut into. This will probably be what I cut for Omega. Starliege, Utopia, Pappy, Tyrus, Volcasaurus, and Guy Dragon, because these two are perfectly fair in tandem. And I think I will end there, because this is going to be an extremely long and probably by now extremely boring video, so I'll leave it there. I'll be doing a video on Nationals and what I'll be taking fairly soon, probably within the next day or 2, and what my tech choices will be for that. I'll probably be running Tin Gadget, simply because I think it's a little bit more reliable over sort of the 9 rounds of day 1, because as much as I love Constellar, they're a little bit flaky without Sombra. So yeah, this has been Uzmak1, signing out.